Today in the Smuggler's Room, we're running a little late, later than normal, but we're back. We're back on our adventure to create 2 full-blown Mandalorian kits. That's coming up. What's up, you awesome geeks? I'm Brian, and welcome to the Smuggler's Room. This week, this chubby geek is handing over the reins to my partner in all things smuggler, as she takes us on the next leg of our Mandalorian adventure. Our Mandalorian kits, as we've recently learned that they are called from our friends over at the Mandalorian Mercs, are going to be full of layers. Layers is what today is all about building. You see, with our Mandalorian kits, we want a level of complexity. We want depth to the actual costume. And we're going to achieve that by building several detailed layers. So today, Carissa is going to show you how to scratch build an overvest, as we're calling it. It's a layer that's going to go just beneath the armor, right on top of the flak vest, and have some really excellent detail built into it. So grab a cold beverage, sit back, relax, and enjoy some sweet Mandalorian kit layering.
To start these shenanigans off again, I went back to the original concept sketches. I really wanted to think through this piece in hopes to avoid any oh duh moments later. When I looked again at what we'd come up with, I realized that it would pose some issues when trying to attach the chest armor. So I started brainstorming different possibilities and came up with a solution that should have enough coverage for the armor and be comfortable and adjustable. For this overvest, as I'm calling it, I'm creating a pattern from scratch. It dawned on me that I could reuse the jumpsuit pattern as a place to start. So I pulled that out, and while referencing my sketch, I started to draw up the top portion of this vest piece. Side note here, I couldn't come up with a more clever term for that, so overvest it is. I did a little Googling. I know it's dangerous, but it seems that manila pattern paper is deemed to be one of the better papers for making patterns. However, I have an ample supply of bumwad, or it's also known as trace paper, trash paper, or maybe also vellum, whatever floats your boat. And luckily, I'm stocked like Jabba's sail barge is stocked with Gardula. Disclaimer: when creating your own pattern, there are oodles of sketching, measuring, test fitting, redrawing, cutting, drawing, rinse and repeat. So bear with me through this video, as there are some redundancies in this process to get it right. One thing I'm trying to keep front of mind is not to forget the seam allowances. Each time I draw or redraw these patterns, I also draw in the seam thickness, so I'm sure not to forget about them, and then accidentally cut the fabric too small. I don't have a whole lot of this vinyl I'm using, so I need to be really careful. We wanted to assess the fit of this custom pattern, so I do a test garment. Usually, these are sewn out of muslin, but I happen to have some old fabric that we'd fashioned as a green screen for a Halloween party one year. I'm sure there are some fashion designers that may be rolling over in their graves right now.
While we're working on this, I want to take a second to thank all the amazing Patreon supporters we have in our community. There have been so many that have been there since the beginning and more that keep joining every single month. We cannot thank you enough. It is with you and your support that is allowing us to continue to bring you these videos and all of these new episodes on building. So thank you very much. Chris and I appreciate the support. Let's get back into the build.
So when we had B try this on, we determined that it was too complicated in its shapes that I was trying to create. So we went ahead and made a few adjustments. Then we go back to the sketching board to revise the pattern again. And here is where I apologize to our forests. Do they make bumwad out of a renewable resource like bamboo? I'll have to look into that next time. This is the pic that shows the inspiration for our vest piece. I think it speaks to the medieval leather armor that was beautifully handcrafted. Now don't fret, we will be working with some real leather for these Mando kits later down the road. taking a moment here, I wanted to make this so that it was nice and finished on the inside as well as the outside. My original intent was to actually just sew all the ends together, then flip it inside out. I forgot that I was going to do that before I did all this stitching. So I decided to finish the edge. I've been making bias tape with this vinyl, which is not the easiest thing because it doesn't iron flat. And then it was kind of hard to sew, so it's not the prettiest finish. I think once everything is put together, it won't be totally noticed, but it was a little tricky, and I'll have to figure out a better way to do it next time. Now we move on to the bottom section of this vest piece, and this is all from scratch, but I have my sketches to reference as a guide. I have this amazing messenger bag that has adjustable buckles. I've considered geeking it out, but I'm not quite sure because I like the way it looks as it is. Anyway, I ordered the buckles and webbing for this vest, but waiting on them to arrive. So I'm using the bag straps as a guide. For both the top and bottom pieces, I'm using multiple layers of fabric. For one, it'll give thickness to the vest. But also, for the bottom, where I'm using the stretchy fabric, it's adding some stability as I'm sewing. doing this double stitching again so that it continues from the top piece to the bottom piece of this overvest. I start on the inside and work my way out. If I had gone the other direction, I'd avoid it pinching like this. If there's any movement of the fabric, it kind of moves to the sides here and won't be right in the center where you're going to see it the most. It's time to sew these two pieces together. I'm a little nervous, but I don't want to screw up. The thought is to create a band that goes on the front and then around to the back, like so. So here we go. My first attempt at sewing this band was an epic failure, just like the time I tried to make Brian a birthday cake of the fallen AT-AT Walker. Wow, wow. Anyway, good thing I have my buddy, Mr. Seam Ripper. For the final touch, the adjustable belt buckles that finally came in the mail. In all honesty, I just ordered them a couple days ago. I followed the example on my bag to get these right, but I think it turned out great and will be adjustable for ease of getting it off and on, and in case we shrink or even grow, hopefully not, in size. We gotta lay off those Rykrits for that to happen though.
Baby!
You don't see that every day. Code blue room 305.
All in all, even though this is a very slow burn, now that Celebration is in 2022, this kit's starting to really shape up.
I am crazy excited about the amount of detail that Carissa has been able to put into all the different layers of soft goods underneath what will soon be the armor build. And that's going to be coming really soon. We also have all of Carissa's soft goods that we need to get fabricated and ready for her armor. And then we can start on the ammo belts and the weapons and all the other details to really tie this kit together. We hope you enjoyed this. We thank you so much for watching and your constant support, and we'll see you the next time we build something out of nothing.
Here it is. Hey. Spin around.